You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Well, guys, Stephen A. Smith may be at a career crossroads. Stephen A. Smith has been on ESPN for a very, very long time. However, he actually does have his own podcast on YouTube, video podcast, The Stephen A. Smith Show, where he actually not only talks about sports, he also engages in politics and pop culture stuff as well. Now, Stephen A. Smith worked for ESPN. ESPN has let it be known that they are perfectly okay, guys, with allowing men into women's sports. You remember a few years back, guys, that during, Women's History Month or something like that? Did they actually honor Riley Gaines? No. Paula Scanlon? No. They honored the male identifying as a female for Women's History Month. ESPN gave the women another L. But this is ESPN, a part of the Walt Disney Company. They learn nothing, guys. They learn nothing. Now, when it comes to Stephen A. Smith, guys, he's been floating the idea that maybe he's going to run for president in 2028. Now, to be honest, man, I don't believe Stephen A. has a shot at the Democratic Party's nomination. And for one thing, Stephen A., why in the world are you associating with the Democrats, man? I'm curious about that. This man seems to agree with nothing with the Democrats. Nothing. If you guys listen to Stephen A., he agrees with nothing the Democrats are doing. But this man still wants to run as a Democrat. Now, Stephen A. is going to tell you he's not a Democrat. He says he's voted Republican one time. But you're floating the idea that you're actually going to run as a Democrat. Stephen A., and I said this before, guys, he's not going to get the nomination for the Democrats. He's not far left enough. He's not. I mean, based on the personalities over there at ESPN, Stephen A. may actually be far right because sometimes he actually makes common sense. Okay? Now, this transgender thing, man, of course, the left is furious that President Trump has put a stop to the trans invasion in women's sports. Even the NCAA, guys, has bent the knee and said, no, there will be no men in women's sports. It's not going to happen. We're going to put a stop to that. And that's just common sense, guys. Well, Stephen A. now, maybe he actually wants to start looking for another job, guys. Maybe ESPN are firing him for what he actually said about transgenders. Stephen A. Smith says he's not down with this stuff. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member, support us just for $5 per month if you watch on YouTube. We have our member live stream every single Friday. So here we go. Over here, guys. Stephen A. Smith offers up common sense take about trans athletes prying on females. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that Stephen A. Smith has a daughter, right? Could be wrong about that, but I think that he actually does. And I'm pretty sure that Stephen A. would not want his daughter to be going up in sports against someone that's actually a male. Even though they're putting on the makeup, putting on the wig, he's probably not down with that. Look here. It says rumors have been circulating about Stephen A. Smith running for president in 2028. And while there doesn't seem to be any legitimacy to the whispers, the ESPN star has continually been asked about his political aspirations and opinions. One of the issues he has not been shy to talk about is transgender athletes in women's sports. The discussion about the biological males competing in women's sports shouldn't be political, given it centers around basic biology. But left, man, if you're a leftist, you don't believe in biology. And common sense. But as we all know, it has become incredibly political over the last handful of years. While Smith sees himself as a centrist in terms of leaning left or right politically, he's made it clear that he believes women's sports should be about women, which is the same opinion the majority of Americans hold. Yeah, any American with common sense believes that. This is what Stephen A. Smith told Bloomberg. Quote, "I'm a centrist by nature. I don't believe in operating on the fringes. I don't like the MAGA right, and I don't like the woke cancel culture on the left. I'm a centrist," Smith told Bloomberg ahead of the Super Bowl in an interview uploaded February 15th. But the thing is, man, Stephen A. Smith likes Byron Donalds quite a bit. And no doubt about it, guys, Byron Donalds from Florida, the House rep, black man, is definitely on the MAGA right. Stephen A. Smith likes him. So when he says, I don't like the MAGA right, but he likes people in the MAGA right. Okay. But anyway, he says this, quote, "LGBTQ rights and all that stuff, I'm in full support of that. But when transgender athletes, men are transitioning to be women and they're competing in female sports, that's a different animal to me," Smith continued. "That's not just about LGBTQ rights. That's about prying on the rights of females out there everywhere who were born female. And they're at a decided disadvantage." Wow. Stephen A. Smith is right. He's right. I mean, if women have to compete against men identified as women, it's not right. Now, I'm not sure if on First Take they've actually covered these topics. I'm not really sure, but they really should. But if you want that kind of coverage, guys, I mean, right over here on Black and White Sports, we're actually going to cover that stuff. We talk about that stuff. And Stephen A., newsflash, you're not going to win the Democratic Party's nomination if you don't agree to have men and women's sports. It's not going to happen. Hate to say it, man. It's not going to happen. Maybe Stephen A., if he actually runs, would be better off running as a third party, because last time I checked, Stephen A. Smith was polling at 2% as of right now in Democratic primary polls. 2%. Stephen A. may actually do a little bit better being independent. But everyone knows, man, that right now you can't win an election unless you're a Democrat or a Republican. But Stephen A., why align yourself with the party that is just so unpopular right now? What is he going to do, man? Is Stephen A. Smith running? Or is he just going to remain at ESPN and probably have to backtrack? Remember, he actually came out. He said some good things about, I don't remember what this was. This is probably like in November or something. He was talking about Trump or something like that. And he was kind of giving him some respect. And then he came out and almost kind of backtracked. Maybe the higher ups at ESPN got to him. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I was like, yeah, the suits upstairs, man, they probably got to him. They probably did. But that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.